Okay, we have got a men's retreat that is coming in October. The official drink, I called it Kasambavezi Congo. How many know Zambezi River? We all know about Zambezi River. Yeah, the Zambezi, the original, okay, the real name for Zambezi is Kasambavezi. But because the white men could not pronounce Kasambavezi, he just said Zambezi. But Kasambavezi is now pregnant with meaning. It means only those that know this river can bath or swim in it. Kasambavezi. Only those that know this river can bath or swim in it. Because the river is infested with crocodiles, hippos, tiger fish, snakes, and all. So you really have to know. So that's why I got the name. Because I'm just saying, you guys, if you know what the word is about, if you know that they're killing you by killing the bacteria in it, okay, when you know, you can drink now. Kasambavezi Congo. Okay, Congo, you know where it starts, where the river starts, denoting we the people. So it's essential, my brothers and sisters, to have our own industries that are what? That are very, very thriving. Yeah. For you to run your industries, you may also need to adhere to standards. The world is its standards. And the one thing that I have found, our standards are superior to the world standards. If one thing that passes on me, it will never fail there. Did you hear that? If it passes on my standards, it will never what? It will never fail. The other time, it was rare that time. At that shop, he had a very good deal with some pharmaceutical pharmacy. They wanted honey. And then he got honey from Murewa. I think the ladies, they brought 12 buckets of honey. And I told your husband, no, this is not honey. I was like, no, Mkoma, no, these guys, they know what they're doing pretty very well. You know. And then, okay, you took a sample to the farmers. Hey, man, this is not honey. So, that's how good we must be. If anything that passes on me, it should be able to pass anyway. I took the drink to our standard, Zimbabwe Standard Association. Speak and span. I can challenge all these kombuchas that are being brewed in because I am quite convinced that when God says, okay, this is passed, it should be able to pass anyway, because our standards are very very superior. So we need to come to a point where we generate our industries. I'm going to read some quotations from the book that we love. Okay, he has already started on it. The book, Ministry of Healing. Probably it summarizes all the writings of Ellen White. This is the book also I go to. All her writings, you actually be getting them, the gist in this in this book. Let me read some passage as far as the need of industrial education. Do we have industrial education amongst our hood, amongst us, as what? As Seventh-day Adventists? Of course, in the home schools, they are ours, right? Yes. So we need to have the broader aspect of putting the education to use. It doesn't make sense to come and have a very powerful talk show in here, and then we don't use the message. This is our inheritance. You know, he talked about New Start. Actually, New Start is now patented by non-Adventists. Did you hear that? Yeah, it was coined by Adventists, having taken it from Ministry of Healing. And then some guys, they are wasting the New Start, and went and registered. So it's no longer ours as running, okay, the nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, all that, until we get to trust in God. So we're moving away from our inheritance. We are not benefiting from what? From the inheritance, because we are failing to make use of what? To make use of it. Isn't that a terrible thing? instead of us inheriting. The health message that God is given us. And he will continue to give. That's what the Spirit of Prophecy say. So if Ellen White resurrects today, we are going to tell her about what? About health. If you have been progressing. Because God still continues to reveal unto who? Unto us. Is he still revealing? One thing that I have found, if you get some light today, and then you make use of it, God will then reveal much more. Okay? Right. In this paperback, it's page 160. The need for industrial education. If they ever become industrious and self-supporting, very many must have assistance. Did you hear that? Yeah. If we are going to assist any people, we should be able to have the substances. You cannot assist with what you do not have. They will need encouragement. They need instruction. And this is some of the things that we are going to be giving you this week. There are multitudes of poor families for whom no better missionary work could be done than to assist them in settling on the land and in learning how to make it yield them a livelihood. Help them secure the land, take them from the hovels where they are in, and then assist them to make a livelihood. And we by livelihood, let me put in a new emphasis. The emphasis is mine, livelihood. We should be living. And then when we help a people, they should be able to live. So before you help that somebody, you should be able to live yourself. The need for such help and instruction is not confined to cities. Even in the country, with all its possibilities for a better life, multitudes of the poor are in great need. The whole communities are devoid of education in industrial and sanitary lines. Families live in hovels with scant furniture and clothing, without tools, without books, destitute of both comforts and conveniences, of means of culture, imbruted souls, bodies weak and ill-formed, reveal the results of evil heredity and wrong habits. These people must be educated from the very foundation. They have led a shiftless life, idle, corrupt lives, and they need to be trained to correct habits. Are we going to be the missionaries that will be able to alleviate these people? I think he really pinned it when he introduced the role of medical missionary work. Relief. Are we going to be able to relieve the poor? It's not about going with soup. The other time, I'd actually beef with the Be Free in their early days. Be Free, yeah, they take good, very good training. But then it was only in the white community. But they'll be happy to make some soup on Sundays and go and deliver soup in the low communities of Cape Town. But no, we have to go beyond what? Beyond delivering food or clothes unto what? Unto the people. We can actually lift the people much better by not giving them fish, but by giving them the fish hooks and teaching them how to fish. That is essential. How can they be awakened to the necessity of improvement? Did you hear the question, Mary? How can they be awakened to the necessity of? Some people are so content in their poverty, they are so content in their misery that it becomes so very difficult to awaken them for improvement. They think, no, that's the way it is, and that's the way it shall be. But as a missionary now, your eyes must be open. Clemens, right? We should what? We should be able to see how they can what? Awakened. How many are ready for that task? Are we sure we're ready? Let's go into. The other time I was trying to help a community in organic gardening. So they were coming to my place for lessons. Okay, I had a flourishing garden, and then by the time they get out, they also get something. It could be some tomatoes, some leaves that they, and it is actually developed into what, into a culture, and actually organized people to buy organic produce from what, from these people. They would come from Harare into the community, and then came a government program that was giving them free fertilizers and free seeds. And it disrupted my everything. Until now, the thing died. And then the lesson that I learned is, many times you want to take one person at a time and create an. If I had taken one person and created another Joseph Mizha, probably by now I could have a compounding effect. I could have affected many. So that was on a small scale. Let me bring it to on a macro scale. Muammar Gaddafi had so much an edge of uniting Africa. Apparently, he had created a very good model in Libya. You get married, you're starting up a life, you've got a package for a house, what you need to get started. This is Libya, is pegged with oil. Okay, we've sold so much. Okay, so every Libyan will benefit from what? From the oil. A powerful model. But his mistake was trying to galvanize Africa at what? At a very one go. Can you imagine if he had taken probably Robert Mugabe then when he was at odds with the West? And then probably we Zimbabweans would also be, by now could be heavy having, if he had created that model. And then you got eliminated because you have got people, these caretakers, who are running Africa for the West, and then we still splintered. But most probably take one, and then you have a compounding effect. Okay, it's one this. Okay, next 3 months there's another one who's in. Next 3 months there's another one within. Those some of those approaches that we may need to employ in order for us to thrive, and then wipe out. I was talking with the Wongan about seeds. How many of us are growing their own food and saving seed? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of so many of us. One of the things that the elite, the powers that be, are doing is to wipe out. It's also happening to South Africa. Is actually even worse because you long embrace the GMOs, but we still have people who are dedicated, people living seed. I think there are a number of 3 or so companies. At one time, your government actually had a program where they were giving people the genuine seed from their seed bank, and then you would plant, and then you retain some. I don't know whatever is still going on. It's yeah, you only plant once. You cannot go back to your granary to go back to the field again. Sometimes it can germinate and it may not produce. Sometimes it produces some other funny things. That's kind of a thing. And they are doing not only to the seeds of plants, but also even to our animals. You talk of in Zimbabwe, our cow who had Mashona cow, even our goats that did not grow too massive. And then they come and entice we must cross-pollinate with this one. It will give you more steak and whatnot. But eventually you are wiping out your own seed. And then what happens? Their seed, the crossbreeds, they are not well adapted to your local environment. You then depending upon chemicals that they manufacture in order to keep them. So many times, some of the things that have destroyed us is failing to listen to the elders. Okay, for those of us who were born so many years ago, there was a movie called Roots. I think this black American took 15 years of researching how he got captured, how his ancestors eventually got captured and went to be enslaved into America. Kunta Kinte was quite a brave guy. Okay, during the initiation, what they do, men's initiation, okay, getting into manhood. And the elders told him, do not walk in tall grass. But being as brave as he is, he ventured into what? Into tall grass. As if what the elders had said was not enough. A monkey, you see a monkey right on the front, and gives a charge. And then he failed even to recognize that. And he got captured. Okay, our elders gave us seed. Okay, we are the enlightened one. We've been to school and, okay, we want to eat what we want. But also nature is telling us. Now arguing, weevils. If you grow maize, do you struggle with weevils here? Yes. In Zimbabwe, it was quite worse. We also had a fall armyworm, which was wreaking havoc right in the fields. And apparently, it was eating more of the hybrids one than the OPV ones. So my argument today is nature is telling us, God is actually trying to save us by killing this grain before it kills us. But what do? We kill the weevil that is trying to destroy the enemy. And then, okay, after putting the chemicals that destroy how brave are we that, okay, it's also not going to kill us? I don't get it. Because if it kills the weevil, it should be able also to kill you. That should do. How do you spray poison all over your food before you eat it? So there are things that we need to really wake up as far as our industry are concerned. And it's a matter of agents. We need redemption as soon as possible. We need to creating our industries. Let me just continue with some reading in here. Work for Christian farmers. As Christians, we are mouth rounders. Do we agree with that? We should be mouth rounding. We should be able to grow our own food. So far, we have established it is a religious duty to have our own industries. It is a religious duty to grow our own food. Does that make sense? If you are not growing your own food, who's growing your own food? Are you normal? There's a work for Christian what? Christian farmers. Do we have any Christian farmers in here? Are we Christians indeed? Let's see. Christian farmers can do real missionary work. What? Clemens. Christian farmers can do real missionary work in helping the poor to find homes on the land and in teaching them how to till the soil and make it productive. Teach them how to use implements of agriculture, how to cultivate various crops, how to plant and care for orchards. Do we care for our orchards? Okay. Oh, yeah. That's the general approach. Yeah, they should be able to take care of them, but no, we really need to take care. God gave us this dominion to take care of. So we should be able to take care of our orchards. Listen to this one. Men who till the soil fail to secure adequate returns because of their neglect. Their orchards are not properly cared for. The crops are not put in at the right time. And a mere surface work is done in cultivating the soil. To their ill success, they charge to the unproductiveness of land. Many times you get land, okay, you are so much happy, and then you do not really put your energies to make the land productive. And then when it doesn't you say, no, this land is not what? This land is not productive. Right. The other time I was talking to one of my young brothers out there in Zimbabwe, actually Mutema Munyaradzi, and I told her, okay, his family is here, wife and 3 children. No, our children should never go to an agricultural college. It's like, Mkoma. And I'm like, hold on. They start eating while they're still in the womb. And they must wait until they go to college in order to know how to grow food. Are we okay? They should know how to grow their own food from home with the terminologies that the agricultural colleges are what. They should actually be much better than the agricultural colleges. Because currently, the conventional knowledge is not so much up to good. So the children that we are bringing should be able to know how to grow their own food. That's where true liberation will come from. True liberations also include having to grow your own organic food. So that's very essential. We should know all the terminologies of agriculture. Like, okay, he was talking about our own physiology. We should be able to know it. Because many times, the world is dying at the hands of experts, educated men. When you are sick, you go to a physician. He tells you whatever he tells you. You don't ask questions. Usually, you go in there, 7 minutes, you should be buying the medication. And okay, you don't even know what they've written there. It's only known him and the pharmacist is the one that know. And I always try when I'm doing this presentation, I'm like, you know what they've written? No, the doctor is telling the pharmacist, I've made my money, you make yours. So it's very, very essential that we should grow our own. There was a point where I'm so happy with Malawi. You guys, sometimes you feel you are backward, but no. You guys, you still have. I was asking for the seeds. I got some of the seeds that I was actually asking. That are still real seeds. Some of us we are so much contaminated, and we need to redeem ourselves. So you are at what you can actually save Africa, because you are at a point where you still have that already. Before the seeds are wiped out, you start grooming people. Okay, when you go home, okay, you've got somebody that you're grooming. Your wife is grooming somebody else. That one is grooming somebody else, and give them the proper seed. You say, okay, you become my wife, become my seed bank. Okay, when it's done, okay, so that we can actually save Africa, because many times we are so much twisted to money. So when I'm talking about industry, yes, money I'm not just talking it in terms of its monetary value. No wonder why they actually give you the seed and they buy it at a higher price. All right, and then when they have wiped out your seed, and then they will no longer buy at that price. They did that also with my bananas in Mutari area. It's almost like this side. They asked the people to uproot their bananas. They gave them the seeds. They gave them the fertilizer. They also go and buy those bananas before they are ripe. They put carbide on them. Carbide is actually a carcinogen, and then they are sold. So sooner or later, if the seed gets wiped out, and then you begin to be dependent upon their seed. So we've got a fierce agents of now to run our own industries. You could start at family level as a matter of a rule of conscience. Family first. Many times in business, when you are growing tomatoes, you want to make sure, okay, the nice ones, they go to the market. The ones that's rotting, you cut the piece and then you cook for what? No. The choicest ones must be eaten by the what? Yeah, these ones you must give to the lazy next door. But before you give, you must work for them. That's my philosophy. Family first. That's very essential. So whatever business you are doing or you are planning to do, it should be able, first of all, to benefit the family. You cannot have the strangers eating the choicest. They can eat probably equally good at a premium at a premium price. Let me just finish a work for Christian farmers. Right, so let us not condemn the soil. Listen to this one. Their ill success they charge to the unproductiveness of the land. This is false witness. False witness is often born in condemning land that, if properly worked, would yield rich returns. The narrow plans, I want you to master this one. The narrow plans, the little strength put forth, the little study as to the best method, call loudly for reform. Young men, I don't want to see any narrow plans from you. You must put all your energies to what? To use. That is calling for what? For reform. Let proper method be taught to all who are willing to learn. I hope we are all willing to learn. I promise I'm going to give you the very best that I know as far as the proper method are concerned, if you are willing to learn. Yes, I'm not going to be waiting. I think you've realized that I'm not the one that don't wait for Martin to call the people to come. Those that are there, I hit the road running. So you need to take note of that. If any do not wish to speak, if any do not wish you to speak to them of advanced ideas, let the lesson be given silently. Many times we as missionaries, we are probably giving lessons in the cities. Country living is good, and okay, we're off, and then we tend to condemn the people who do not want to conform to country living. No, let us give that in what? In silence. Just think, if Martin can bring anyone from the city to this place, isn't that a profound sermon in itself? Just to come to this. Yeah, because if you are in the city, you're also going to be seeing this kind of environment in leafy suburbs, where the who is what, where the who is living. So if people do not want to listen, don't chalk it upon them. The results must what? Must tell for themselves. Let proper method be taught to all who are willing. If any do not wish you to speak to them of advent, let the lesson be given silently. Keep up the culture of your own land. Drop a word to your neighbors when you can, and let the harvest be eloquent in favor of right methods. Demonstrate what can be done with the land when properly worked. Last month I was invited to do an organic garden workshop. It was just a one-day workshop in Harare. All right. I'm going to teach you also those the methods that I normally use for people to get started, the eco circles. Okay, we really worked the land pretty very, very much. And the people enthused, and they just said, okay, we left there, we planted the seedlings that they bought. Give me a week. They also had their own garden and said, okay, in 3 weeks, I want you to be comparing with your what? With your own garden. After 3 weeks, they did not call me. They had actually started doing more eco circles that they are what? They're now beginning to call what? To call their neighbors. No, you come and what? Come and see for yourselves. And then they would teach the what? By teaching the neighbors, number one, they are getting manpower. And number two, it's also getting what? Getting cemented. So one of the things, I know, Martin, your land is very dry. One of those things that you could do. No, I'm teaching you. Yeah, just prepare some food. You come and learn. You see this eco circle, it can be done. You have manpower. But it also helps to stick also unto what? Unto you. So it's very, very essential that we run our industries. With that, do you have any questions? I want to introduce you to apiculture, that is bee farming now. Do you have any questions so far? I'm going to take 15 minutes of introduction to apiculture, and then I've seen your hand, and then straight away I'm going into gardening. We are going to walk down there after a brief talk, and then yes, we get going. Yes, madam. What's your name? Kazungu Zemuli, okay? Oh, it's Ministry of Healing. Yeah, yeah. It's a famous book with us. Very, very famous. All right. Is there anybody with any questions as far as the introduction that I've given to? Yeah, this one I started from page 160, 160 to 161 in the paperback one. The original one need to be on page 193, 193. I think. Yeah. Is there anybody with questions? Okay, that's fine. One of the industries that we can do in the countryside is bee farming. Some would like to call it beekeeping, but I'm using bee farming purposely. Beekeeping may just mean, okay, you've got 1 or 2 hives that are okay, you are keeping as well. Bee farming means business. That you can actually milk business out of what? Out of it. As you age, let me give you this hint. In as much as you are very vigorous, you've got some maybe very powerful ideas, we are losing energy. Correct? Okay, the ideas may be in the head, but the energy won't be won't be there. It's essential that as you age, you want also to increase your social circle. One of the things that quickly takes us to the grave is because there's no social circle. This may sound pretty very, very secular. But we also need to have, as we age, we need the resources. If you have resources, Bambo, your children will send grandchildren to you. But if you are poor, I've got nothing. No, our children will not want God. And that stresses you. Because as human beings, we are social beings. And then when your circle begin to diminish, it stresses you pretty much to what? But when you're playing with your grandchildren, the circle, and one of those that can actually attract you to them is resources. I'm being human here. I'm being practical. That's a reality. Bee farming is one of those industries that you can establish where the bees will do everything for you. You only go to rob them of their honey. You don't need fertilizers. You don't need labor to come and weed the field. You don't need insecticides for anything. They do literally everything for what? For you. And more so if you have chosen a countryside like this one, you got actually those areas that you will never even grow anything. They are just there where you can just establish your apiary. So bee farming is one of the fundamental projects that we can do while we are living in the country. And Mother Nature just does everything for us. Here is another benefit of bee farming. It's going to increase your hygiene. Bee farming will make us increase our hygiene. Because bees, you cannot attend to your hives while you are smelling sweat. They will sting you to death. So they don't want strong odors. So also, those funny soaps and perfumes that you use out there, you are not going to be using them if you are working with what? With bees. There is also going to be harmony in the home because bees do not like noise. Another advantage of taking care of what? Taking care of bees. You're also going to preserve nature because sometimes you've got 100 hives there, Mandula. How much are your hives here? The KTB ones? If you buy them, right? How much are you selling or buying the hives? The hive itself?
So what I do is to cut the cost, I have my own carpenter.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think the market price now is around 50.
Okay, 50,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah? 75,000. Okay, that's fine. So if a fire is starting up there and you've got 100 by 75,000 of the hives, probably they're already colonized out there. You want to stop the fire from what? From there. You generally keep the what? You generally keep the environment. So those are one of the benefits of what? Of also keeping bees. So it's one of those essential ones. Bees also, they help with pollination. Is the most efficient pollinator. If you're going to grow butternuts, you're going to grow whatever, the most tomatoes, the most efficient pollinator is the what? Is the bee. That's very essential to know the benefits of actually just having the bees are more essential to agriculture than fertilizer. Yes, you heard me correctly. Bees are more essential to agriculture than what? Than fertilizer. They do a great job for what? For us. So those are the advantages of what? Of having to start a bee. I'm going to what you enjoy most. They also give us what? They give us honey. The sweet nectar everybody wants. And if you do not know honey currently, you better know who's producing it. Because there's a lot of adulterated and fake honeys, even in pharmacies. So that's one of the challenges of not having your own, yeah. It's essential. What else do we get from bees? Beeswax. What do we use beeswax for? Candles, lotions. You were saying something? The soaps. Yes. What else? Polish. Yes. Right. What else do we get from bees? Propolis. Propolis is one of those substances that it's actually more expensive than what? Than honey. Yeah, it's also used in medication, isn't it? Yeah, it's also used in ointments, tinctures. They're also using what? Propolis. You also get royal jelly. This one is very, very, it's only eaten by the queen. Only the queen eats what? It's a royal jelly. So that's one of the products also that we get what? We get. And also, fascinating enough, bees can actually teach us how to live. They are well coordinated. The lessons that we learn from bees are massive. I was telling the gentleman over land that if we were living like bees, there would be no commotion. We wouldn't be contesting for elections. We would be killing each other for what? For elections. Because there's just so much harmony in a hive. Everything is well coordinated. And the mother, the queen, is the one who controls the hive. So mothers, and apparently, I'm agreeing with you. All the worker bees are females. So if you see them flying out there and they are collecting water, they are collecting nectar, they are all. Give yourself a hand, ladies. Yeah, so that's we're not talking of the bee caste, the bee family, right? I don't want to talk much about the male one. It's the laziest of the caste. He doesn't work. He does not even sting. All right? If there is a drought and there is a crisis of food, he is the first one to be kicked out of the hive. He must go and die away. He doesn't contribute anything. He only there to mate with the queen. But apparently the queen only mates one day in her lifetime. So generally they are just there to keep the family caste intact. Just eating for nothing. You see, they are called drones. Those are the bees. It is a real characteristic. Yeah, so it's considered the most useless one as far as the family caste is what is concerned. So the queen controls just about everything. They use pheromones, scents that are produced by the what? By the queen. So if you see the bees flying around, they generally would not sting you. You can actually even let it land on your hand. Just don't panic. It will just land and what and go. If you go to the hive, right, you will not be stung by the bees that are coming from what? From the outside. You'll be stung by bees that are coming from the inside. They would have sensed your scent. And then the queen says, this scent, you must go and what? Go and attack. That's exactly what happens. So we need to learn to live in harmony with what? With the bees. Please, let us not kill bees. They generally have a short lifespan as well. So please, the worker bees, they only live 4 to 6 weeks. And they what? And they die. So please, be kind to our bees. The drones, they live a little bit longer, 6 to 8 weeks, right? The mother, the queen, lives much longer. She can be active for 3.5 years. Sometimes they go up to 5 years. In theory, we say there is one queen for every colony. In theory. But sometimes you can go to a colony and you see 2 queens. But the old queen will just be dormant. The new queen is the one that will be active. So theoretically, there is only one queen for every what? For every colony. You see, that's it. So just the introduction to bees. Fascinating as it may be, I love to work with what? To love with work with bees. That's fine. I think you will put that book. I think it's a whole book that I'm going to put on the a number of books anyway for bee farming. That's we right for you to establish an apiary. You need an apiary is a place where you put your hives and manage them. That's the apiary. Okay, you need to choose a location that is at least 100 meters away from the homestead. At least. But this is your project. It needs protection. Protection from thieves, protection from stray animals, fire, yes. Protection, your own protection as well from stings. That's very, very essential. Huh? Yeah, so you must check where the direction of your wind, where the direction is generally coming from, right? That's where you put your hives. Is that so? No, because they don't want to smell you. Eh? They can just get infuriated. But don't be afraid when you're dealing with the bees. Because many times if you panic, what do? You produce adrenaline, isn't it? When you produce adrenaline, it will irritate them. And then there's just one thing that can then actually make them attack you. So don't panic. You need to have basic equipment. I want you to write this down. The basic equipment for you to get started on a beekeeping project. Basic equipment. You need a bee suit, complete with gloves. A bee suit. Gloves. A hive tool. Hive tool. It's hive. Hive for hive and then tool. Specifically, it's called a hive tool. Did I mention a bee brush? Okay, a bee brush. A specific brush that is designed for you to work well with bees. And of course, you need the hives. Yeah, the common cheap ones are the Kenyan. Yes, in Kenya, the country, Kenyan top bar. We're talking of the hives now, eh? Okay, yes, in shape of what? How are they? The Kenyan top bar. Oh, okay, no, okay, we'll go to the best. But okay, they are one of those we don't want the traditional ones. The traditional ones will probably just get a bucket and then we put in there, or maybe we will just get some hollow trunk, tree trunk. We don't want those ones, the traditional ones. The disadvantage with the traditional ones is that it's easier. It's not easy to manage them. When you've got to inspect like you do on these top bar ones, you cannot be able to inspect, because when you go to the Kenyan top bar one, you can actually, okay, usually, let's say this is our whole hive. So from the, if the entrance is this side, most probably here, right up to its half, there's pollen, there's also larva in there, and then the other half, there is honey. Then you want to inspect and say, oh, is it mature? Did you know? Okay, it must also mature before you harvest. So with the traditional ones, you will not be able to do that kind of inspection. And then when you harvest, you destroy everything. And when you destroy, you also even destroy even the larva. And then if it begins to be stink in there, the bees will then abscond. So the basic ones will be the Kenyan. There's also called the Tanzanian. The Tanzanian one is more rectangular. The Kenyan one is all V-shaped. It has its advantages of it being shaped, because if you put the hives on the Tanzanian, they usually also get stuck on the sides, unlike the Kenyan one. Yeah, so there's the Tanzanian, there's the Kenyan one, and then there's also the Langstroth. Langstroth A. Okay. 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 How is it?
It's almost like Kenyan top bar,
Uh-huh.
that time it has less top bar. So it's basically smaller in terms of the size.
Okay, no, that's fine, because they recommend the Kenyan top bar can be between 80 centimeters and up to 100 centimeters, which is a meter. But you also have the big cage, the smaller one, that can actually even be less than half of it. Sometimes you can just trap bees wherever. So probably, you know, this area has got a number of bees. You put, it will be the same shape, but with lesser bars. And when the bees get in there, you then transfer them into the hives. All right. So these are the top bar ones. Yes. Yeah, those are the bars. And then there's also another one that's called a Greek basket. It's also a bar type one, where it's like a basket, like, okay, the basket that you remake. Then you seal it with the clay and cow dung, and then you put bars, and then there's the entrance at the bottom. So you can actually even make use of what is available. The bars should be 33 millimeters, 3.3 centimeters, the bars that you put. And then you should actually, I think I put in one of the videos that I did when I was, so that you see what are some of the things that I'm talking about. I will upload it on the group. Right. Supposedly, this is our hive. And then we just put the bars. Let's say this is the bar, this is the bar, and we want our bees to build in this way. If we do not wax them right at the center of the of the bars, the bees can do what we call cross combing. They can build across. And then when they build across like this, you are in trouble. How do you harvest? How do we inspect? You then kill everything, and then generally the bees would abscond. So if we want to do that, I'll upload the video, then you see what I'm talking about. Right? Any questions thus far? I want to shift to the gardening. This is just the introduction as far as the beekeeping is concerned. I think we are going to visit one of the hives that's here, right? And then, so on the basic equipment, I'm going to add what you need when harvesting now. It'll be tomorrow onwards. I'm going to add onto that. With that, let's go to the garden. All right. Do we want to grow our own clean organic food? Why? Right, let me pin you. You have said, oh yes. Why do you want to grow your own food? Okay, there's a Joseph Mizha. All right. So, Mizha Licious. Yes, what's your name? Yeah? Mongeni, okay. Okay, right. You get healthy food. Yes. We can have a number of reasons why you want to grow your own food. Healthy food, yes. Uh-huh. Self-reliance, yes. You want to feed myself, yes. It saves money, yes. Ha, 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 ha. All right. Pause. I've seen you. Let's read Proverbs chapter 12, verse 11. Somebody, 28, verse 19. I love the Bible. On every subject, if we go to this book, we will be the happiest. 12, verse 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Martin, what version do you have? Right. Can you read in KJV? Gentlemen, if you are not growing your own food, you are following vain persons. You are void of understanding. Isn't that brutal? He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread. But he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding. I'm guilty. Because I think, okay, I've been to school, okay, I'm making money, I can just buy. So we need to have our own land. He that tilleth is what? Let me also say her own land as well. So it's essential. God's ideal is that his children should have their own land, number one. And they must what? Till that land so that they are satisfied with what? But many times we are following vain persons in our life. And who are the vain persons in our lives? The politicians. It may also include our spiritual leaders. It may, as long as you are not growing your own food. Who's growing it for you? And how brave are you? Many times food is just growing. Let's take it for granted. Every food is growing what is being grown conventionally. And some of the chemicals that they spray, they are told even on the label that you can consume after 14 days. One of them is called Roga. I don't know whether it's also prominent here in Malawi. Right, after 14 days, and then the vegetable, okay, they're saying, okay, it can be eaten. We've got 2 organizations that teamed up to make a research if this is actually standing true. The other one is called Farmacy. They teach organic gardening, permaculture, and then the Zimbabwe Producers and Promoters, Organic Producers and Promoters Association, they teamed up, and guess what they found? If you spray Roga, it will remain up to 81 days. It will still be in the leaf. But okay, the label is saying 14 days. But I'm a farmer. By 6th day, the leaf is like this. Do you think I can just say, okay, let me watch until 14 days when I want to make money? I just tie it and put it on what? And put it in the market. But I'm not concerned about your health. I'm concerned about the money that you are giving to me. 28 verse 19. Proverbs. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? The finishing. He that followeth after vain person in 12:11 we read is void of what? Of understanding. But now 28:19, he will have poverty enough. Are we not suffering from poverty enough? We've got poverty of intellect, poverty of good skin, poverty of good hair, poverty of this, and poverty of money itself. Because you're only spending money instead of you bringing the what? You bringing the money. So we should be able to grow clean organic food. That brings us what? That brings us money. There are a number of farms in Africa that are growing, in Zimbabwe included. They are growing clean organic food that is not eaten in Zimbabwe. From the farm straight away it flows. I got shocked the other time. Actually a farm it's monitored by cameras. Yeah, they are growing granadillas in there, and then it's $9 wherever it goes in there, one granadilla, and I'm like, yeah, we are pretty messed up. We need to redeem ourselves. You did well by coming to this camp, so that we can be able to what? To redeem ourselves by growing our own clean organic food. It's very essential. That one is non-negotiable. If you are not growing your own food at the moment, you need redemption as soon as possible. ASAP. In the meanwhile, get somebody who is growing that food organically that you can buy from what? From them. And you know, organic food, wherever we go, it's actually prime. It fetches prime money. It's expensive. But do you know, to produce organic food is not as expensive? Do you know that? Yeah, the inputs that you do in order to produce organically, it doesn't tally in getting the food what. But if you are going to sell your food organically, then you are going to fetch quite some money. So it's very essential from the biblical point of view. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth after vain persons is useless, is dumb. Right? Or you have poverty. What? You have poverty. So let us not be in the business of following vain person. Let's get the land that we need to get whilst we can, so that we can be able to help whoever we can be, whom we can actually see that they need what? They need help, and they should be able to grow their own clean organic food. I also grow food for photography. You heard me correctly. Yeah, I just want to, because I'm developing the garden for beauty. Can you just see how beautiful that is? Yeah, I can just relax there, get some photos, and I tell them, hey, Zimbabwe, how are you? So you can have various reasons of growing what? Well, how about tourism? There's an emerging kind of business, rural tourism. Okay, no, we are in the UK. We've seen your garden. You want to stay for how long? Okay, I need £3,000 for the 3 days that you are going to. You're eating organic. Everything is here. Okay, you want to cook for yourself? No problem. We will sort that you cook for yourself. So those are the things that actually also incorporate as we are developing our. So there could be varied reasons. I want to grow my garden because I want to donate it to this homestead, because they are keeping out. I've seen they are doing well. They are keeping orphans. So I want to be donating the food to that. So you could come up with a number of reasons why you are doing your garden. Do you have any other ones? Any other reasons we might want to develop a garden? Talk to me. Yes? You still have something? Okay. When you get your land, the first thing that you want to do is just lose your eyes. Just see. Generally, sometimes you're going to see there's just a general order. Just natural order. You see sometimes, okay, this side there's so much grass, but this side there's so much trees. You may want also to follow that kind of an order. If you see there's so much grass, your grass things will do well that day. Yeah, your trees, you can also just determine, okay, no, these trees are your, because many times we get land, we want to uproot everything because they want to plant so much maize. So that is not how we do our business. Okay, so when you get land, study your land. Make a plan. I want that written. Before you just go and plant, okay, you have designed that, okay, my garden is for my family. Okay, these are the greatest consumers. What do my family consume a lot? And what season are we having it? So you need to make a what? To make a plan. Then once you have planned, then you can then design your garden according to what? To that plan. Also include beauty in there as far as your plan is concerned. If you think your garden is about to make money, it's not a crime to make money, okay? You must determine the market. Did you hear that one? When you are growing food for sale, you are not growing it for yourself, you are growing it for. So don't grow a lot of cabbages and say, okay, this is now a cabbage season. Okay, I'm going to grow it organically. For sure, the market is going to what? Is going to love it. I'm going to sell it at 4,000 kwacha each head. You'll be disappointed. You need to employ business principles if you are going to start a garden that is going to sell produce for yourself. You want to produce something that you are going to be sell. So it's not yours what you grow. The market must determine what you grow. So establish the market. If you want to sell it to a particular shop, or there's a canteen that you want to sell, you want to know, okay, how much would you need, say, per day? Okay, your consumption rate. How far are they from you? All those details, the nitty-gritties. Because many times I've got one guy in Zim. He had, the kale that you gave us for salad. I enjoyed it very, very much. He had about 20 beds, nicely done organically, but he had not established the market. One time we got 65 bundles that I'm going to sell them for $1 American US each. The market was flooded. He only managed to sell 3 at 50 cents each. Apparently, he doesn't have his own car. He had hired a car to go from his farm to go to the market. So when it comes to business, I don't want anybody to be void of understanding. It's a principle that we really have to work on. Is it making sense? Yes, many times we've got a lackadaisical approach to business, and then when you go into the environment, you find, oh man, I've been fooling myself. Business and just doing something for commercial and having a few surplus, they are totally two different things. Is that all right? Okay. With that, I'm going to finish my presentation. Let's walk down this way. Your assignment. Okay. How many ladies are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There was 6 one. I'll count here. Right. So 3. Okay. You go this side. No, I'm just counting. Let me count those that are here. Hello. Hi. How are you? So you, 1, 2, and 3. I want you to, Ruben. Okay. And then you guys, you are this side. I'm probably, yes. You also go to this side. So you are a group on your own. I've started pointing you. Which is your favorite vegetable? Broccoli. Okay, so group broccoli, go this side. And then, Mam Tema, which is your favorite fruit? Avocado. So you guys, your avocado and your broccoli. We are going down there. We are going to show you the same land. I want you to make a plan. Right? In that plan, okay, our beds are going to be door size 2 meters by 1 meter. And then we are going to do eco-seco. The eco-seco is a round one, which has got a diameter of 1 meter. Okay, so basically, I want to go where we are going to be talking. You are making a plan of the land, and then we'll see the plan that we start on off. Is that okay? I'm being practical, right? For preparing. You see, remember, we need some preparation of the soil. For now, we just want to make the plan. Is that okay? I will continue talking when we're down there. Thank you so much. Let's get going.